is another opportunity on your favorite podcast sessions, Conversations with Consequences. We are happy to have you once again. We've been seeing your comments, we've been receiving your feedback, and we are together building a movement that is going to turn our world around for our own good. You're already aware of our guest, the founder and the chief seer. You are most welcome.
Thank you.
CS is the community of creatives. We are into design plus life coaching. We also have products that include our books, our training sessions, podcasts, and so many more. Find us on our CS app. Sign up for some of our courses, and then also enjoy our content today. And share the link and let others know that we are on. And then hopefully we are together going to build a community in Africa and even beyond that is willing to take the bull by the horn and bring the best part of our lives out. So, Doc, what feedback have you been receiving from watchers of the podcast so far?
We are touching lives.
Okay.
The subject we've discussed so far is quite sensitive. A lot of people who have grown up from backgrounds that are more or less still keeping them inward. They are yet to break out fully because of the influences of the environment. And they are beginning to appreciate the need to understand how life works, especially the principles, and out of that be able to birth the eagle in them. And then soar to their rightful places.
Okay. Wow. This is amazing. Viewers, like Doc was saying, we've been sharing on the important subject of personal development. I remember, I think the previous week, I asked Doc why such a topic, which is so central, is not being treated in our schools, and Doc gave an answer and said that's not what the education system really stands for, is meant for. So we are here to augment or to support, to compensate what is lacking in the regular educational system.
Oh, certainly.
Yes.
You can go to the highest level if you can, but understand that will help maximum 22%, even if you attend Harvard.
Great.
The remaining 70%.
You need to do it by yourself. Personal development. So personal development is the way out. And so we've been trying to address the remaining 78% by dealing with topics including growth, development, personal development, professional development, and there's so many other things. Last week we tried and started a journey on the bringing out of the eagle in you, because we realized that Doc made a very, very fundamental statement that you can actually be great as you are now watching us, but he was giving us a challenge and saying that, look, you can be far, 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 far greater than you have ever thought of.
The maximum potential no individual has been able to come up with. We know our minimum, which we've been emphasizing, that without going to take any medication, without going to pray for it, going to receive any special concoction, the brain that each and everyone has is already engineered to be able to help the individual to come up with an idea, a theory, a product, or a service that is capable of positively impacting the lives of at least 1 billion people within 10 years. So far, we've tried to emphasize that as the minimum potential each and everyone is capable of. Except that that potential needs to be harnessed through personal development.
Good.
And not just school.
Good.
Because school cannot get you more than 22% of that.
Good.
The world has changed. Essentially, everything has gone digital, including business cards. We are in the era of smart business cards. A smart business card is like a bank card. It has a microchip in it. A user needs just one. And with that special single smart business card, one can share and save contact details and more to a prospect's phone with just a single tap, with swag. For instance, you just show the smart business card to the person's phone, and bingo! The contact details get transmitted wirelessly, correctly and instantly onto the person's phone. Someone calls it a miracle business card. Just go to searsap.com/SBC or scan the QR code and get free guidance.
So in brief, you're trying to say every single person who is watching or listening at this very point is having in him or her a capacity that can reach 1 billion people within 10 years if well deployed.
Yes.
If the capacity is well deployed. And you are saying the path to deploying that capacity is personal development.
Yes.
Where personal development supports the regular education gives 22%, then personal development gradually builds up to add to the 22 to make 100% productivity. Okay. So the 100% productivity can actually give more than 1 billion people impact.
Yes.
Because you are saying the minimum
is 1 billion people over a period of
10 years. Okay, so listener, you can imagine. Right now, I want to ask you how many people you've already been influencing or impacting. If it's less than 1,000, you can look at the numbers of 1,000 in 1 billion, and you can see how far you are from your minimum functionability. So just stay glued, keep listening, keep asking, keep your questions coming, and keep sharing the link, and then we'll surely together get there. Okay, so Doc, last week we started dealing with some very, very interesting things. Like I mentioned earlier about the ego and the ego that has to come out of us. I think I made a funny comment that an eagle is a very big creature, very daring creature. And if such an eagle is in you and has to come out of you, you can imagine. It's like a woman giving birth to a very fat baby. Yes, so to birth an ego is never going to be easy. Yes. It's why we had to bring out the processes of fear, doubt, and then disappointments and so on and so forth, which we dealt with. I'll deal with a few pages in the outline of the course. Remember, we're having a course that you should sign up for and then be part of, so that you go through the whole thing. We can't deal with the entire course here. We want you to sign up for it, and then you come and have the full weight of the program impacted on you, plus personal counseling and life coaching as well. But we want to deal with a few portions of it that we figure out to be very important and will be good for the general public consumption. I came across something in page 49. Okay. We have a very interesting word. I'd never seen that phrase before, but I came across it. I had a concept of the caterpillar, but I'd never seen this phrase, processionary caterpillar syndrome.
Oh!
Processionary caterpillar syndrome. When I saw it, I said, what is this talking about? So I said, yeah, sickness or something like that. You know, what is the processionary caterpillar syndrome? This is how we want to begin our conversation today.
I call it PCS.
PCS. Processionary caterpillar syndrome.
In fact, if you go to csapp.com/PCS,
is there?
You can read about.
Okay, so csapp.com/PCS is right there. You check on the processionary caterpillar syndrome. But the doc is going to give us
just a brief. It's one of the most interesting concepts every human being should get privy to. The caterpillar here refers to a worm-like insect.
Yeah.
That develops into a pupa and then finally into a butterfly. That's what we are referring to. Okay. Now there's a particular kind of caterpillar that we call processionary. Now we call that caterpillar processionary because they have the habit of lining up and following each other. And wherever the first one goes, all the rest follow.
Okay.
So they are always in a procession. Okay. And it doesn't matter where the first one is. Maybe the first one is going into fire.
They'll go.
Okay. Now there's a very interesting experiment a researcher by name John Henry Faber conducted. He picked these caterpillars and arranged them in a circle. Okay. Just arrange them in a circle. And for 24 hours, they were going round to nowhere, essentially. So they were just going around because they are habitually following each other. And once he managed to get them in a circle, then he had this loop. So they were just going around for 24 hours. And that is activity without productivity.
Yeah.
So they were active, but they were unproductive.
Okay.
So he picked them and then arranged them around a saucer or a plate, so to speak. And then put their favorite meal, their favorite food is pine needles. So he put their favorite meal, their favorite food at the center of the saucer and arranged them around the edges of the saucer. So just as they were doing when you arrange them on a general circle, here also, because the saucer is round, they were still in the round circle, going round. The food was at the center. They were going round, and then they started dying out of exhaustion and hunger, or hunger and exhaustion, whichever way you want to look at it. So food, not just food, but their favorite food was just 2 inches away. Yet, they were preoccupied with just following each other round. You don't know exactly what they were about. And I've said that they were in an activity, but that activity was without productivity.
That is amazing. So, they are habitually following the leader, but the leader is going nowhere.
Exactly.
Like the blind leading the blind.
Exactly.
And Jesus says they will both fall, they will all fall in a pit.
So for 6 days, 6 solid days, they did this. So they were just dying out of exhaustion. So, and this continued for 6 days. When their favorite meal, not just any food, but their favorite was just 2 inches away. And that is how a lot of us live our lives.
The world has changed. Essentially, everything has gone digital, including business cards. We are in the era of smart business cards. A smart business card is like a bank card. It has a microchip in it. A user needs just one. And with that special single smart business card, one can share and save contact details and more to a prospect's phone with just a single tap. With swag. For instance, you just show the smart business card to the person's phone, and bingo! The contact details get transmitted wirelessly, correctly and instantly onto the person's phone. Someone calls it a miracle business card. Just go to searsap.com/SBC or scan the QR code and get free guidance.
Through no fault of ours, each and every individual born into this world is pre-programmed to imitate. So naturally, wherever you are giving birth to, you just look at what is going on within your environment, your family, the house where you stay, the larger community, the school you attend, the people you see around. So you just naturally default to just being like the people you've come to meet. And since majority of people are going nowhere, naturally, since you are born into certain environment, eventually you just become like one of them. That is why if you take every 100 people, 97 of them underestimate their capabilities and use so little of their true or hidden potential, because majority of people are not undertaking self-help development. Majority of people are not reading books consistently outside of school. Majority of people are not putting their intellect or their creative abilities to solve problems. So naturally, you also grow up and be like them. Majority of people are just mediocre, let's put it that way. So we are all born into mediocre environments and we just do what we came to meet. So we became serious like
caterpillars. So, Doc, how would we practically put this, for example, in our context as Ghanaians? Can we say this syndrome is accountable for where Ghana is?
Capital, yes. If there's anything I can use gargantuan, yes. I don't know if gargantuan capital, yes.
Wow. I will not want us to go too much into details. Of course, I know from my discussions with you, you prefer for us to skip going too much in a domain where we don't have full control. You are someone who prefers that you handle the area where you have full control. Like, take responsibility.
I'm not interested in what
somebody can do. Exactly.
I'm not interested in
what you can do. Exactly. So I don't want us to go too detailed into that. But there is another side of it. The other side of it, still in the public domain that I want us to look at, is there's a history of a generation that was given the capital punishment to not be questioning. And probably because we saw our leaders being killed for questioning. Don't you think that by this tragedy that met with the human race in a portion of history, the gene started reacting in such a way that, look, let's be more careful and let's be more contained. I think humanity, being a replicated gene, the gene has learned from past experiences that, look, if you go this way, you have a problem. Then let us rather stay in this safe zone. Is that not what we are trying to contend with? And we are contending with it. That no, people should go out and explore and then think wild and think wide and think out of the box. Don't you think we are coming against nature? What do you have to say about that?
Well, it is possible. Okay. But whatever has contributed to that, it's harming us.
Okay.
If you are satisfied with your conditions and you want to remain mediocre, then continue to be a processor and caterpillar. But if you want to change your circumstances, then you cannot afford not to question. Now the difference here is challenging authority. Okay. That one, you face the wrath of it. You face the consequences. So you must apply wisdom. We are saying that you have this potential. Just go through personal development, harness it, and enjoy life.
Simple.
It has nothing to do with what somebody is doing or not doing. Because irrespective of what somebody does or fails to do, the responsibility of pulling yourself up by your own bootstrap falls squarely on you. That's why the other time I said that the best helping hand is the one at the end of your own arm. Others can help you, but not as much as you can help yourself. And the best help anyone can give to himself or herself is personal development. Because it helps unearth that potential to overcome the difficulties of life for your own self first, then for your family,
those that you love,
then for society, and then for humanity at large.
Viewers and listeners, Doc is saying in simple terms, help yourself. But the best one to help yourself. You are going to save yourself from the situation which you are in. If only you choose it. Choose to change. You can take your life into your hand. You don't need to blame or point fingers or accuse, but you need to just take charge. Doc is here and the coaches are available to support, and then you can be the next change story.
The world has changed. Essentially, everything has gone digital, including business cards. We are in the era of smart business cards. A smart business card is like a bank card. It has a microchip in it. A user needs just one. And with that special single smart business card, one can share and save contact details and more to a prospect's phone with just a single tap. With swag. For instance, you just show the smart business card to the person's phone and bingo! The contact details get transmitted wirelessly, correctly and instantly onto the person's phone. Someone calls it a miracle business card. Just go to searsap.com/SBC or scan the QR code and get free guidance.
So, Doc, we talked about the caterpillar syndrome. I'm sure our viewers are all trying to figure out where they fall in this particular description that has been made.
Conventional wisdom may not always bring you the solution. And anytime you are applying conventional wisdom, you are being a processionary caterpillar.
Okay.
So you always must question, you must ask yourself, what are we trying to do here? Objectives. Very, very important. What are we trying to do here? Then, how are we trying to do it? Will what we are trying to do achieve the objective that we've set out to achieve? Is there any other way? And so on and so forth. And I've already said that the brain that we have has the strength to figure out new ways of doing things. And especially when you are taking through the 8-step creative thinking process, it allows you to actually put the brain to its creative potential in diverse ways, even in ways that you hadn't previously thought of, because the brain is designed that way.
Mm.
So we should always go beyond conventional wisdom. Ask the necessary questions. People often say, think outside the box. In Zen for Life or at CS, we say, think as if there's no box.
Okay.
So these are available to us. And a lot of the issues that we face in life are like that. We can't
solve the problems of today with the same level of thinking that we created.
Mindset we created a problem. So we need to think as if there's no box. How do you do that? It's through personal development. Especially, there's an 8-step creative thinking approach that one can use. I mentioned before that life will keep throwing new problems and you and until we do that, we'll just be doing processionary caterpillar syndrome.
Wow.
And getting
wow. So life is going to be throwing problems at you and it's not expecting you to complain or to pointing fingers, accusing and being judgmental and sentimental and so on. Life wants you to man up and then to chin up, chest up, shoulder up, and then say, welcome problems, and then you face it squarely.
The world has changed. Essentially, everything has gone digital, including business cards. We are in the era of smart business cards. A smart business card is like a bank card. It has a microchip in it. A user needs just one. And with that special single smart business card, one can share and save contact details and more to a prospect's phone with just a single tap, with swag. For instance, you just show the smart business card to the person's phone and bingo, the contact details get transmitted wirelessly, correctly and instantly onto the person's phone. Someone calls it a miracle business card. Just go to searsap.com/SBC or scan the QR code and get free guidance.